It's a Monday special episode. It's a training log. Let's get into it. I'm Carl Ragavan, Europe's original starting strength coach. This is Beautiful Strength. Welcome to the show. Those of you who are very observant, you will see in the thumbnails of each video, the past 9 videos, there's actually a little mark saying week 1, week 2, week 3, even though I've done 41 weeks now of posting a weekly update of my heavy day and heavy lifts during that week. Since coming back from Houston and coming back to the UK, I had to slightly adapt my training, obviously still trying to push for my numbers to go up on the press and the deadlift especially. But because I knew that coming back to the UK, I would only be able to train 3 days a week because I didn't want to do the extra day training. That was my choice. But it was also just to kind of take a reset from really pushing my numbers for the meet. That didn't happen, but I felt like, I did a good showing for my numbers that day for the mock meet. So this has kind of been a transition program to what's happening now. So I'm off to Japan for a while. And again, in our itinerary, I let Caroline know that not all the time that we're there, I have to be training and not skip workouts, because I would feel a deep amount of regret if I didn't get to travel and experience all the places I want to do, because some of our trip is dancing around for 3 months non-stop in different hotels, and it would just take away from the trip if I had to rush off to the gym somewhere random just to get a workout in. So this programming that I'm doing now is kind of a forecast of maybe the expectations of what I am limited to in the gyms that I'm training at. So I'm not so sure if there's going to be bumper plates. So it's not going to be a huge amount of Olympic lifting. I'll try and do some cheeky lifts where I lower the bar if I can. The only thing I don't like about Olympic lifts in a powerlifting gym is the knurling, because this has happened before in Wales. When you do cleans and snatches with a very sharp knurled bar, it fucking stings your collar, your throat, and your thighs and all that stuff. So the hook grip, it all is like unnecessarily painful, which kind of takes a lot of pain tolerance to deal with, let's put it that way. So this is now, after the 5 weeks I've been in the UK, kind of simmering transition period, this is now a full-on 3-day program where I'm probably thinking I might have to focus on my bench press and my squat. It's not actually what I want to do, but considering how well my bench went, and I've only been ever benching once a week, I've been mainly focusing on press, and I've been telling clients this, and I've written articles about this, that sometimes you actually do yourself a service by focusing on the opposite lift, getting that really big and strong. And then you come back to the other lift. For me, that's the bench press. And I casually benched 170. And I'm literally benching once a week. Most of that training cycle was inclines. And I've only just done 8 weeks of flat bench when I was in Texas, because I didn't want to do inclines in the starting strength gym. So me and the bench press have had an interesting relationship. I think I've probably maxed out and gone for 180 kilos prematurely and just got too frustrated. Or usually I end up, if the frequency is really high, like benching 3 or 4 times a week, I would end up just getting some sort of shoulder pain. So that just would frustrate me and spin my wheels. So again, just because your approach didn't work the first time doesn't mean you can't come away and rebuild. So even though my focus is still to press 160 kilos and deadlift 300 with straps, I think, again, my deadlift training, I don't know if I'll be able to rack pull because some gyms don't like it because you can bend bars, and some gyms just, for whatever reason, they just don't like rack pulls. I'm going to be in a few powerlifting gyms, so hopefully they'll get it. Rack pulls aren't universally loved in every gym, let's put it that way. So with that being said, maybe deadlifts can get some progress, but I think the focus might be better spent on trying to push my squat and my bench press. I think I might be able to get a big bench, which is 4 plates. I've been chasing 108 kilo bench for a while. And yeah, benching 170 with once a week training has been good for me. So I was really happy with that. So if you check out my shorts, you'll see I did 150, 160, 170 and it went up fine. So the other thing about bench, which is kind of funny, is I feel like it's a lift. Actually, Alan Thrall even said this comment before me. I feel like the bench press is a lift that I've done to appease other men. It's kind of weird like that. I don't feel that way about the press. I couldn't give a fuck who else is overhead pressing. I just really love and enjoy the press. And if I didn't have to bench again, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But I know from a strength perspective, if you take strength training seriously, you do your power cleans, and you do your bench press. So I think getting that benchmark of 180 kilo bench will be one of those moments where I'm like glad I ticked it off the box, but I wouldn't be rushing to bench the next plate, Again, it's kind of a nice accident. And if I have a good run of training where I'm injury free and I'm just crushing it and getting a good progression, then I probably will be excited and will be into it. But most of the time, bench is kind of one of those, like, I know I have to do it. I'm dragging my heels. I've just got to get it done. And getting certain numbers in bench solidifies you as a strong strength coach. So I definitely feel like I've been chasing that number for too long. But even with the way training is going to be not ideal, I think if I did put some focus down while I'm in Japan, I think maybe I could get it. So with that rambling being said, this is my Monday session of what I think is probably going to be my new 3-day approach. Because again, I don't want to be training 4 days a week, because for the rest of the week, I want to be experiencing and enjoying as much of Japan as I can. So that's the cards I'm accepting, 3 days a week, and then push the bench and squat to the limits of what I can do with the time I have. All right, so kicking things off with the back squat, which we just call squat. 5 triples with 225 kilos. So this is roughly 500 pounds. Again, those of you who do squat 4 reds that are bumper plates, this is almost, with the thickness of these bumper plates, one more bumper plate and the plates are going to really come off the collars. So it is a lot more wobbly and unstable. But that being said, if all you do is train on calibrated plates, which are very thin, and it takes up like half or a quarter of this space on the bar, if you do intend on training in an American gym where they have cast York barbell plates, the old school kind of 45, those plates also are quite thick. Obviously not as thick as these, but they definitely do start to create a similar and stability in the bar. So not always being a powerlifting princess and using optimum powerlifting gear is kind of a blessing in disguise sometimes. The main thing I do get pissed off with is the bench. So it's much easier. These JPEGs are really high. You can see they're just about. But yeah, 225 went fine. This was the last triple with 135 kilos. I did 5 triples on that, moved well. This was the real big boy lift today. Crushed some power cleans. Again, I'm not sure if I'll be able to drop weights, so I just kind of went for broke today. A triple at 110. I don't even know if I've done a triple with 110, or at least it's a tied PR. It's close up there. But this was the big money ball. 120. Anything over a single is a PR. Never done multiple reps. At first rep flew up, but I kind of was like, oh, my belt buckle. When you do cleans with your 3-inch belt, you want to make sure the buckle is turned around. Get it. It's a little low, but it still passes as a power. To me, a full squat where the hip crease goes below patella, that's when it becomes a squat clean, which we just call clean. This one, just didn't want it. But still, I'm fucking happy with that. A double with 120, can't complain. Here we go, Japan. So if you like today's show, comment, like, share, subscribe. You know the business. I'm Carl Ragavan. That was Beautiful Strength. Sayonara. And remember, the barbell never lies.